Number 3, make sure you're in bed by 10, like Eric said, because if not, it is very easy to be out until 3 or 4 o'clock, and you're going to want to pay a homeless man to stay at the Ritz. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the most underrated podcast in real estate, but also planet Earth, The Walkthrough, where each and every single week we bring on top industry professionals to talk about trending topics in real estate in real time. My name is Dan Oneil. I am the Capitan of BAM, aka Broke Agent Media, and today, as always, we have another jam-packed episode for you all. Joining me, as always, is my co-host just days away from Tom Ferry's Success Summit, Bam Bash, aka the Super Bowl of real estate. You know the guy's gotten 30 haircuts. You know the guy's tanned. You know he's microbladed. You know he's gotten 200 facials. Mr.
True.
Eric,
True.
Broke Agent Simon. Eric, how are you, buddy? Are you excited to see us all in just 3 or 4 days?
I can't wait. And Dan, when we started this podcast, I didn't know if we were at a playoff game or we were at the Tom Ferry conference where he's blasting Zombie Nation. We're all jumping up and down like zombies, but I am pumped for the Super Bowl of real estate conferences. Shannon's going to be there. Brad's going to be there. We're throwing a party. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. We are also joined here today for the first time ever, Mr. Brad Acree, all the way from Cincy and Northern Kentucky. Brad, how are you today? I know you're
doing
MLS
great.
Down, but how you feeling?
Yeah, doing great. You finding ways to stay busy, but hopefully it's back soon.
Amen. Well, you are the man, and you are way stronger than I would, because if my MLS was down, I'd be in the fetal position. Let's just say that. And lastly,
crying.
Yeah, I already am, and my MLS is way up. Lastly, we are joined by the content and sales queen, all the way from Arizona, Shannon. Pumped to see you this week at Summit. We have Miss Shannon Gillette. On a scale from 1 to 44, Shannon, how excited are you to see Eric and I at Summit this week?
44. I was just looking back at previous pictures, and I saw you dancing in the background with an orange suit on. I remember I was so nervous in 2021 to go up to Eric and say, "Can I take a picture with you?" I was like in the line waiting to get pictures, selfies with Eric. So
I took the picture. Like I left that conference with carpal tunnel because I was taking so many pictures with people in there.
Yeah, it is funny. I think everyone, if you haven't booked your ticket to Summit yet, come just to watch the crowds surround Eric.
No. I remember, Shannon, after Bam Bash last year, I asked you were not at Bam Bash last year, didn't make it, but this year you will be there.
I will be
be
there
at our party, so we cannot wait to see you there. And people are going to be taking pictures with you this year, just like they were last year too, because you are blowing up every single day. So Dan, we got a jam-packed show here today. We got MLSs down, we got out of office emails, we got conference setup, and we have the marketer of the week. So let's get into it.
Let's go, baby. Way to take my thunder from me. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hello, Mrs. Simon. Thank you for watching.
Hello, Mom.
Again, if you're watching this, like, sub, comment. Let us know if you're coming to Summit. I mean, I can't wait to see everybody. And if you need to find me, just look for the tallest man in the room, aka Eric, and look for his photographer behind him. That will be me. All right. On to topic number 1. After cyber attack, multiple MLSs and agents are sharing creative solutions. This is from BAM here, and their key details. On August 9th, a cyber attack occurred on Rapattoni. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. A data host for multiple listing services across the nation. As of August 15th, the affected MLSs were still experiencing outages. As the attack is being investigated, MLSs and real estate agents are working to find solutions for their clients. A couple of days later, they learned the reason for these outages, a cyber attack, which was on a Southern California data host that basically multiple MLS or multiple listing services for San Francisco Association of Realtors, Bay Area, and many, many more, Cincinnati, like Brad will articulate in a few minutes. We're all out. They basically serve about 5% of the entire MLSs across the United States. With these outages, agents are unable to update the statuses of listings, add new listings, pull comps, set up showings. I mean, imagine your MLS was down. I could never. That also affects appraisers, which is backing up all of the closings, everything. The attack is reportedly being investigated by the FBI. The feds, the FBI. Insane. In the meantime, MLSs and real estate agents are working to find a solution for the short term. Brad, you were quoted in this article, and I basically stopped that right as we got to your quote. This has directly affected you. Like I said in the intro, I would be in a ball. I already am in a ball, the fetal position. What the heck is going on, and how has this impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing for me is I can't wait for some precedented times, right? Like it's been such a crazy 3 years for the world, and now it's like one thing after another. So, we're finding ways to stay busy. Our MLS has set up a temporary database, but for the entire city of Cincinnati, on the Ohio side at least, there's 450 listings in there right now. 450. That's all there is. But, a lot of agents are finding other ways around it, right? Like Cincinnati's not too far away from Dayton. So we've got some people that are in the Dayton MLS, and they're literally entering listings into Dayton's MLS just so it can hit Zillow and Realtor and all the other sites. So it's an interesting time.
Brad, I saw something about, and not to interrupt you, but I saw something about people were making like Google, like Excel sheets, right? Like Google Drives, and like uploading information up on there. Like, is that what people, like, are you using that?
So I guess that was happening in Fresno. I'm not sure. We didn't have that in Cincinnati. So the database does look a little bit more official than that, but like it's still, I mean, they put it together in a couple of days. So I'm not even bashing the people that put it together, because thank God that they did it. Right. But before we had that, we had a Facebook group, and it was just literally like, hey, drop in like your listings or whatever into this Facebook group. It gets worse. So like, I was like, there's no way I would put anything into this Facebook group right here, because they said, hey, this is just for agents. Like, you have to be a member to join this group. However, they must not have understood how social media works, because they made it a public group. They were like trying to police it and asking us to police it. But it was like, of course, it's an impossible task.
Yeah. So are you, last question, and then we'll pass it on to Shannon, but are you still able to like, how do you set up a showing? Like, how are you communicating with, we could talk about this for an hour and a half. My God.
So I think Zillow's actually being pretty friendly with different MLS's. Background here, I actually worked for Zillow for 7 years. I worked at Dotloop before I was an agent. So they've been pretty friendly and trying to like figure out solutions to allow people to like directly add things to showing time. And so that's worked. I'm booking showings. I've been on a showing every day this week, actually, but it's been like one showing a day, rather than, being crazy busy. I mean, if you're watching Byron Lazine in the morning, and when he's quoting different statistics on different markets and how it's going, like Cincinnati is one of those top markets, right? Like top 5, top 10 markets. We're still seeing price increases. We're still seeing things close really quickly. And so a big part of my job right now is actually educating people that the national news doesn't apply here. We're a hot market. We saw disinvestment for 50 years. So we're still catching up.
And you're doing that via social media, right?
Social media, yeah. And then just in person, like the most impactful is just literally being in front of people. But yeah, trying to do more and more social media. Shout out to Katie Day. Saw her down at a KW event, and she's not moving to KW, so don't get the wrong impression. They paid her to be there.
That's not how that pipeline works. It goes
it's not.
It goes Keller Williams to Real, never Real to Keller Williams, I believe.
Pipeline's
never
reversed. No.
By the way, that Facebook group sounds like the worst Facebook group of all time. Yeah. Just a bunch of realtors posting their listings, a public one. That is a complete nightmare.
I mean, one of my least favorite things about being a realtor is having to have Facebook. So yeah, it was pretty much nightmare.
Yeah.
Shannon, so Brad was mentioning social media. Obviously, you have a large social media following. And the scary part too for this, they have no end in sight. They don't know when this is going to come back.
These are still down.
The article. So yeah, they're still down, but there's no estimated, hey, we'll be back up, this date. So Shannon, as someone who has a large social media following, doing all this business, what did you think of this article? And do you think you could still operate your business while this was happening?
It is terrifying, Brad. I feel bad for you going through this. And yeah, it's a good reminder that we shouldn't be relying only on the MLS to market our listings. We do professional video on every home we list. We're getting 5,000-10,000 views over on YouTube, but it's scary out there to think of all of these hackers. In Phoenix here, we're actually dealing with a lot of land fraud where people are listing land that they don't own. So you gotta, be prepared for these type of things.
I mean, this is like a doomsday here. This is like, aliens came down and hacked your the MLS. I don't even know. Like, Eric, we were talking before the show about using social media, right, to market and advertise the listings, but even still, right? I mean, it's
not being able to update the status or not having it go into the MLS, which obviously sends it to Zillow and Trulia and all these Redfin and all these sites that the consumers are looking at. But Jason Ferris, who was also quoted in this article, who's in Fresno and the MLS is down there, said that he has an email database of 80,000 clients and that he's actually allowing other agents to access his database to send out listings. So it's pretty cool how the real estate community is coming together, but definitely just shows the importance of building on social and having a Facebook audience and an Instagram audience and an email list and, Shannon's YouTube videos and everything that gives you this ability to actually just promote your own listings to clients. And I would use this as a hook for your videos. Like, hey, by the way, the MLS is down. You literally cannot see new listings that are active. This is my new listing right here. So I would take advantage of it. And I think it's cool to see how the real estate community is trying to come together, but also just shows you how vulnerable and awful the MLS and how antiquated it is. I mean, there's like no back button on the MLS. It's just been like one of the worst technologies I've ever experienced. Like there's no app for a lot of markets in the MLS. So go ahead, Brad.
It's very true.
So I want to throw a question out there though. Like, do we move to like a national MLS? Like, okay, one thing, if it's national MLS and that got hacked, then we're all down. But are these MLSs, like the people running the MLSs, that tech savvy to know like who to work with as a MLS provider? Like
I'm sure you guys are involved in your local communities and your local MLSs, right? And your local boards. If you went there and you saw the people that are running these day-to-day operations, the people that are making the rules for us, the people that are, and I'm not talking smack about anybody, but I don't think that they're on the Be Real app. Let's put it that way.
I don't think anybody is anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, is anyone?
You'd be surprised. I met someone that was the other day. We'll get into it, but
they don't know about threads.
No, they don't know about threads. That's for sure. But they also don't really know what's going on in our day-to-day industry, right? They're not really in the trenches. I think the coolest part about that, like not the coolest part, but what I love the most about this is that we as agents and people in this industry, number one, we're problem solvers, right? We have to come up with solutions on the fly every single day, whether it be in our deals, whether it be with our team. And the fact that like you guys are coming up with, temporary solutions, but just so that way you can help serve your community, your clients, and the fact that people are working together. Right. So somebody in Fresno made this Facebook group, somebody sharing their email list with each other. Like, to me, I think that's, again, not the coolest part, but it kind of does show how, the industry can work together and we're all working to solve and come up with solutions and fix these problems for our consumers, right? Like appraisals and all of the above. So that was kind of what stuck out to me, and the fact that you guys are being resilient.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Keep powering through. I know it's repetitive, and I say this every single episode, it seems like, but the email base is so important because it's not dependent on all these algorithms, right? Like Instagram seems to be going in waves nonstop where posts are blowing up or going viral or they're completely dead. Like last week, the week before, I don't know if it's because of all of their new updates, but it's really frustrating if you have a listing video or something you really want to draw attention to, and for some reason Instagram or Facebook or the TikTok algorithm is not giving you that juice. You at least have that email database. Shannon, what are you doing to grow your email database? Is it all organic, like through YouTube, through social, or walk-ins at open houses?
It's so important to add everyone to that database, because this is proof your MLS could be gone in an instant, your Instagram could be gone in an instant. So it's definitely important to keep that list growing.
Definitely.
I gotta get better at my email list, man. Mine is lacking. All right. Let us know if this has affected you, what you were doing in the meantime, and wish Brad and everybody that has affected some luck here, because you guys are definitely going to need it, and keep crushing it.
There's no end in sight. It's just sorry to interrupt. It's just crazy. Like the MLS, it's been down since August 9th.
Yeah,
like that's
no end in sight.
There's no end in sight. Like,
I will say we are a little lucky here in Cincinnati that our MLS had already contracted to switch providers. Like we were supposed to switch in like February, I think, and then there were delays. And so they said May. Well, then agents actually pushed back and said, that's going to disrupt my business. We're getting into busy season. And so we didn't switch in May, and now we're extremely disrupted. So like, also don't put off those things that you have to fix. Like I need to work on building an email base. Like, so.
For sure.
Sorry, I think right now too, for everybody, this is the time, like whether your MLS is down or not, but we're going to go to Summit this week and we're going to learn about what we should be doing in the next 6 months, right? Well, to prepare for 2024, for the next year. So if you're in this situation right now, yes, you're probably scrambling to, figure out how you're even going to show houses and do all those things. But now could be a good time to work on skills that maybe you've lacked, or maybe sharpen your skills, work on that email list, work on things that maybe you haven't really done, because you've been so busy. And if there's any sort of a conspiracy around this, I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to go into this wormhole, and I'm going to come up with it, and I'm going to spend a lot of time to help you, Brad, and everybody else that is affected. All right. Yeah. Eric, maybe move on to topic number 2 now?
Absolutely. Yes. No, we're good. Build an email list. Okay. I think you've heard it before. Everybody knows.
Yes. All right. Build an email list. Wish Brad some luck here and everybody else affected. Topic number 2. Topic number 2, 4 keys to a successful Tom Ferry summit by Dan McKinnon, all the way down in sunny Sarasota, Florida. Before we get into Dan's quotes here, I would like to start off by saying, I think Eric and I both have made every mistake in the book when going to conferences. Yes. We have also learned from these mistakes, and we will get into that at the bottom here. And hopefully we do not.
Yes, learn from us. Don't do what we've done. That's for sure.
No. So Dan McKinnon here, and I quote, just like that, it is conference season again, and Tom Ferry's 20th Success Summit is less than a week away. The excitement has been brewing. The group chats are popping off about the parties. The restaurant reservations are filling up, and way too many attendees have yet to find a hotel, yet somehow all the agents know exactly when the Bam Bash is.
That's right. Tuesday, Dallas, 6 to 9.
Yeah, 6 to 9. I ain't down. This 3-day Dallas, Texas real estate conference is one of the industry's biggest events of the year. So Dan thought it'd be best to cover some tips on how to prepare, enjoy, and making a fool of yourself, or avoid making a fool of yourself, all while getting the most out of the conference. Whether you're a first-time attendee or you are engulfed in the Tom Ferry ecosystem, that you understand what the dude in the banana suit is doing, the following list will help you get the most out of this year's conference. Dan had listed, this is a long read here, so I'm just going to rattle off a few, and then maybe we'll go into some do's and don'ts.
Yeah. I could blast them off real quick here if you want. I got them all right here. He says to set clear objections and to go into the conference. Objectives. That's right. Not objections. Correct. This isn't the Tom Tool conference. Right? It's a Tom Ferry conference. Research the speakers because you want to know who you're getting into. You don't want to sit there and then someone's talking to you. You have no idea who they are. So they have no credibility in your mind. And then kind of come up with a plan of what sort of content you want to consume. Is it more marketing? Is it Pantana? Is it Mark Davidson with branding? Who's the keynote this year? I don't even know. All right. I'm sure it's in the article.
Yeah, it's someone.
Yeah, it's someone really good. Yeah. We 100% know that. Yeah. And then listening and taking notes. Obviously, Dan last year was sitting front row, taking notes, scribbling notes the entire time. He says to limit alcohol consumption. Dan McKinnon said that. He is right about that. It will be difficult because there are all these cocktail hours and happy hours and parties like Bam Bash. But take it from Dan and I. Going into the conference hungover Wednesday morning is difficult because it's freezing in that room. You have to pee 15 times. You're communicating with 6,000 people at once, and your brain will not be functioning in the way you want it to. Also, you do not want to make a fool of yourself. And then number one thing with these conferences is to actually network, because you will get referral partners from these and you will get friendships from these. So you're not just going to learn from the actual conference, like you're actually going for the networking purposes. So Shannon, TF conferences, you've been to, I don't know how many, a lot of real estate conferences. What are you looking forward to this one, and what do you have planned for it?
Well, it's one of my favorite events of the year. I have a team of 10. I'm bringing my whole team for an all expense paid trip, because I know, yes, it's a big investment to pay for my team to come to Summit all the way from Phoenix, but I know that each one of them will at least sell one extra home from what they're learning over this 3-day period. And I agree with you, the networking is key. I've probably made over $100,000 in referrals just from attending these events. So if somebody's on the fence about coming or not, I know there are still tickets available. You're really missing out if you don't attend Summit.
You know what? There are tickets still available. And if you want $100 off your ticket, use code PRBAMSS for $100 off. That is the BAM code right there. Thanks for that alley-oop, Shannon. There's a link down in the description. $100 off. Get it right now. This is not, by the way, this is not one huge ad for the TF Summit. This applies to any sort of real estate conferences. This just happens to be the Super Bowl of conferences, and we've developed so many friendships because of it. So, Brad, what are you looking forward to TF, and have you made any disastrous mistakes at real estate conferences?
Well, this is going to be my first time at the Tom Ferry Summit, so I'm very excited about this one. Also, my real estate conference experience, I've actually had more experience behind the booth at my previous role at Dotloop Zillow. So I've actually seen the shenanigans from that side of things, and frankly, that group is just as wild too. Yes. So yes, I have made mistakes. Usually, you go to the wrong happy hour too long, which can mean a couple of things, right? Like it's the alcohol consumption, but it's also like, who are you spending your time with? Just because they're giving you free drinks doesn't mean it's the most valuable use of your time.
Correct. The degenerates at these tend to find each other, in the
yes.
late nights. They all kind of circle around each other. They sniff each other out. So yeah, make sure here's a good rule for conferences. Nothing good happens past 9:30, 10 o'clock usually. So once the happy hours are done, go to dinner, just get out of there. That's the advice I would give. Dan, what about you? What are you looking forward to, and what are you not going to do this year?
All right. So what I'm looking forward to is, and then I'll get into what I'm not going to do. But what I'm looking forward to is the networking aspect of it, because you meet so many wonderful people across the country that are doing amazing things. Yes, you get referral partners. You are going to learn so much, right? From all these different speakers. Tell Ann I said hello. I can see her walking behind you. You're going to learn so many different things from all the different speakers. What my one piece of advice for everybody is, you're going to go there, you're going to have pages worth of notes, and you're going to want to go back right away and get done every single thing that you learned, right? There's 1,000 things. But the problem is when you go to do that, you kind of do them half-ass. So pick like 3 to 5 things that you're going to go there and you want to learn, or 3 to 5 people that you want to go up to and introduce yourself to. So that way they know who you are. That's my advice. When you get back, those 3 things that you're going to get working on, do those right away. And the other 1,000, right, will come over time. Make sure that you're going and meeting people you want to meet. Make sure you're networking. Make sure you're doing all of the above. What I wouldn't do is the following. I would not get there a week early. That is a mistake that Eric and I have made one time. Yes, we've done that. I would not drink yourself into oblivion on night one. Yes, it is nice because, wow, you have no kids, you have no family, you have nobody around, right? It's conference season. Then you show up to the first day of the conference, you hear Zombie Nation, Tom Ferry spitting on you, and you're going like this. Jinx.
You're puking in a trash can outside of the Hilton.
Yes. Make sure that you have a sweatshirt, because it is colder than jail in the summit. So make sure that you are bundled up. Otherwise, you will have pneumonia by the second day of the conference. Number 3, make sure you're in bed by 10, like Eric said, because if not, it is very easy to be out until 3 or 4 o'clock, and you're going to want to pay a homeless man to stay at the Ritz. And yes,
Dan did that.
Number 5, make sure that you don't spend money on alcohol. There's no need to go clubbing. There's no need to go get bottles. None of the above. You're there to learn. You're there to network.
Yeah.
Yep. We did that. And really just the most important thing is, again, just, I mean, we could rattle off how many things we've done that we've learned from. But I will say the last couple of years, you know what? Actually, make sure you go to the conference, because we've done that before too. Yeah. We've gone all the way to Vegas and actually not even attended the conference.
Yeah. We've been to Tom Ferry conferences and real estate conferences where we never actually set foot in the actual conference. We're just lurking around the casinos and going to happy hours and spawning, at the bottom of slot machines, basically.
Yes.
But also,
we've learned.
Don't get conference euphoria too. A lot of people go to these conferences and they get super fired up and they try to implement everything, like Dan said, in 2 weeks. They're like, oh, I'm going to be making video. And then they make 2 weeks worth of videos and then they stop. You have to keep that same energy, basically, throughout your entire life.
Don't buy the event deal from the vendors. I'll add that. Like, they're all like pushing you to like buy right now, and you need time to process and figure out if that actually fixes what you're looking for.
And a number one thing you should do is you do have to go to Bam Bash, which is from 6 to 9, August 22nd. That is the Tuesday, the first night. We like to throw it on the first night. We like to come out with a bang. and basically cause everyone to do what we just said not to do on the first night. So it'll be a great conference. I'm looking forward to it. I've made so many good friendships through the Tom Ferry ecosystem. I mean, I've met Shannon, Dan, this is where we started like actually hanging out and, golfing.
This is the first year we're actually not sharing a room. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Thank God.
I'm not gonna be...
Yeah. Thank God. We're grown men. We don't need to do that anymore.
I know we are grown men.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think the most important thing, like all jokes aside, I think what we've learned throughout the years is you want to leave there making a good impression. The first couple of years we would go there, we would actually walk into the conference like, oh my God, like everybody's mad at us. Like there was a year, I think maybe 2 years ago, Shannon, when you said you had that video, we walked in and like people would come up to us. We were like, whoa, are you mad at us? Are you mad at us? Are you mad at us? We didn't even know what we did.
I felt like I was walking on campus after a Thursday night or something like that, just kind of on my bike with my head down. Just in a Gatorade scared, but that's not happening this year. We're changed people.
We are. Last year, we didn't do any of that. We both had COVID, as it turns out. But I think the biggest thing, like all jokes aside,
I didn't. Okay, you did. I didn't. But you didn't know until after the fact.
Right. But I think the last, like in all sincerity, right, you want to make a good impression. Go there with people that you know you want to meet and have a conversation with, and go there wanting to learn something, right? Like have some, if you want to get better with Google My Business, make sure that you go see Pantana. If you want to go and learn about, direct mail, go have a conversation with Bobby Mack. He's the king of direct mail. You want to talk about objections, go see Tom Toole, right? So have those people and what you want to learn and what you want to get out of this before you go. And also make sure that you pack the right way, because another thing that I forgot is I've gone without socks. I've gone with one suit. So make sure without a
I have one more tip. We have to remember it's 2023. All these business cards and papers. I'm sorry, maybe I'm alone here, but I throw them in the trash. So what I do when I'm networking and meeting is I actually take my cell phone and I make the background of my phone the QR code to my Instagram. So my goal when I'm meeting an agent, because Tom will be like, hey, go meet 3 people, follow each other on social media, send them a DM. Business cards, like, do we really use those anymore? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. That's a really good idea. So you set it as the background on your phone.
So it's just super easy to be like, scan this, follow me on Instagram, and then I'll send them a DM. So then you have that connection versus a business card. I mean, do you guys keep the business cards?
No, absolutely not. And there's no follow up with the business card. With your strategy, you're actually gaining Instagram followers while you're there too. So it's not just networking; you're building the funnel.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think that this is yes, I'm going to ask it anyway. I'm the moderator here. Do you think that, and Shannon and Brad, I'll ask you guys, right? Do you ever get this where somebody comes up to you and just goes, oh, like Shannon and Brad, I love your guys' stuff. Like, hey, follow me on Instagram. And then it's like, right now, and now you leave the conference following 2,000 people, and like, do you ever feel uncomfortable about that? Or
I don't do. I won't follow. Or you could,
Well, tell me, because it gives me credit. Like,
the QR code's less invasive because that's just such an easy tap. When it's actually, hey, follow me on Instagram, it's a little bit different.
But
they're just going to you and say, it doesn't automatically follow them.
But like Brad, somebody will come up to you and say, hey, Brad, I've been following you for 2 years. Can you follow me? And they will pass you like their phone.
See, I'm not at the Shannon level, so I'm not getting that nearly as much, I'm sure. But if they're doing that right off the get, sorry, I'm not engaging with that.
You will now, Brad. Now that you've been on the walkthrough, the biggest show in real estate, you're gonna have swarms of people.
The broke agent's kingmaker here, right?
But I mean, my point is, we have to. I think a lot of people just throw those business cards in the trash. So thinking of something outside the box of like the paper stuff.
Yes, exactly. Shannon, here's a question. So you got your entire team coming to TF. Mm-hmm. What happens to the deals? What happens are you sending out of office emails, which is our next topic? A little transition there?
No, because you know what? This is 2023. Email is on our phone. We are not it's not 1992 anymore where we literally couldn't check our email. So we do have, some of the team like our TC and stuff staying back. So our clients will be 100% taken care of, but I would never, ever put an out of office response.
Dan,
it's 2023.
It's crazy. Dan is the king of out of office emails.
I wouldn't even know how to set my email to save on
That
that
is
office,
true.
so
That
that's how
is
you know I don't do it. On to topic number 3, what a layup that was. Also, let us know in the comments if you were coming to Tom Ferry's Success Summit. Let us know if we'll see you at Bam Bash. Maybe we'll buy you a drink, even though I'm pretty sure drinks are free anyway, but we're not drinking.
Nope.
Anyway, topic number 3, 3 reasons not to send out-of-office emails and what to do instead by BAM staff. The day has come. You're at the airport about to board your flight to that long-awaited vacation. And then ping. What the hell is ping? You look at your phone and you see a message from one of your clients, and right after that comes an image of a house they want to see, and the question, when can you set up a showing for me? Because this place sounds perfect, and I know I won't be the only buyer interested in checking it out. What a long text that would have been. What do? Ignore the text? Temporarily block your client's number and order a few stiff drinks as soon as you board the plane? What? No. Text them back. Sorry, but I'm on vacation. Be back in a week, and then I'll be happy with that showing up? No. Contact your office to ensure that somebody from your team follows up with the client and help them while you're away. Then reply to your client and let them know that your team's on it. Cancel your vacation? Who wrote this? Eat the cost of your plane ticket and then text your client, I'm on my way, right before. We're not suggesting that you jump to any of these or even number 4 and give up travel forever, because fortunately there are ways to keep your clients and prospects happy even while you are on vacation. In August, people are away, even July really, and this article shows a tremendous amount of lack of accountability, not spamming people, right? It's showing them that you're not available while other people may be. You kind of just teed this up to Shannon, so I will skip Shannon first and I'll go to Brad. What is your take on out-of-office emails? Do you do this while you're away? Are you as offended as I am, Byron is? Do you think this is normal? Have you ever done it?
The out-of-office email as an agent, absolutely not. When I was in corporate, like absolutely. The last out-of-office I had at Zillow explained that I was going to delete all of those emails. Like went really all in, like, hey, I'm leaving and you can email me later. I'm going to delete it. But you can't do that as an agent. Like, people talk about work-life balance. It's really a lack of work-life separation, right? Like, you can be balanced. You can go on vacation. You have to set the expectation for your clients and you make sure you have coverage. So you set the expectation, you communicate before it happens. So if you're in that spot that you're getting that text as you're leaving for vacation, and it's like a big surprise on both sides, you've already failed, right? Like, it was the expectations that set you up for failure. It's not actually what happens after.
And it's also, I mean, it's your SOPs. It's the systems that you have. Like, I was joking, but I'm like totally dead serious. I would not even know how to set that up on my email.
Yeah.
I don't even know what out of office even means. I just see it on Instagram as like a caption on people's,
What do you mean? It means they're out of office. It means they're on vacation or they're unavailable.
I understand that. I don't even know how to set that up on my email. So what that means to me, though, is that you have an incredible lack of systems. You have an incredible lack of operations. You don't have any help. And listen, we're in a business where if you do the right thing and you work hard enough, we can make as much money as a doctor, as a professional athlete. There's really no other industry really that you can do that in. So yes, we can go on vacation and we can still be by our computer, by our phones. We can still have people back at the office that are helping. There is no need for an out of office email. Let your clients and your team and whoever else you're working with know that you are going to be away. So if you don't get back to them right away, somebody else will be there to help. But there's no reason why you can't, if you're in Tulum, you can't hop back on, right, and check your computer. There's no reason why your phone's not in your pocket. You can't send a quick text or an email, right? We have the ability to make as much money and help as many people as possible. An out-of-office email, you should be thrown in jail. You should be not in this business. And yes, I am as offended as anybody else. And listen, if you're in Thailand on your honeymoon like Eric, okay, that is one thing, right? Like,
there wasn't, as you saw in Thailand, there was still daily BAM emails. There was Instagram posts going up. There was blogs. The content machine kept on rolling. Shannon, are you telling your clients when you're going to this TF summit, like, are you setting expectations to them? Like, hey, I'm going to be at this conference for a couple of days. Does that conversation happen, or does it even need to happen since you have all the systems and other people?
Yeah, so I think agents really struggle with this. For example, on Instagram, every day of the year, I'm posting to my Instagram story at least like 5 to 10 stories. So I have 3 kids. We traveled for over 30 days this summer. I was still selling homes while I was traveling. And I'm not afraid to share that I'm on vacation on my Instagram, where some agents just travel in secret. They don't want to look weak like they're traveling or sitting on the beach. They want to look like they're grinding every single day. And I think it's important to share your personal life as well. So before I leave for a vacation, I'll usually, if I have like active clients or sellers, I'll get a teammate and we'll start a group chat so I can still be like watching of what's going on. But for conferences, like I can still check emails and text messages during breaks. So I'm not going to probably tell anybody
See, that
and
makes sense.
there's probably a solo agent out there that's hearing that and saying, well, Shannon, she's got 10 people on her team. Like she's got all these things, but I'm actually covering for a solo agent in my office right now. She's on her honeymoon in Europe. And I'm a big believer, like take the vacation, and I need to listen to myself more often. But when she's out, like she did exactly what Shannon said. She set me up on a group text. I'm doing showings for those people. I'm helping some of her people that are under contract. Ironically, one of her clients got under contract on my listing. So that was a little bit awkward, but it was just simply like, hey, by the way, like don't say anything on this thing. They were already under contract before she left. So don't say anything on this text thread that you don't want the seller to know, because that's who I represent. But if you need a schedule, like anything else, like let me know and we'll get you in there.
Well, good thing your MLS is down anyway, so it won't even show that you're double ending the deal. You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Totally unethical stuff happening here.
Health operations. My former partner and mentor in real estate, Robbie Sikora, whenever he would go on vacation, he would introduce me to all of his clients. So I would go sit an open house for him and at least familiarize myself with the seller so that they felt comfortable with me. And he would set those expectations like weeks in advance. He'd be like, hey, I'm going to, Michigan. Yeah. And for over 4th of July, come meet Eric. He's going to sit the open house for you. And same thing, put us in a text thread. So setting those expectations, I think is really important. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Out of office emails for a real estate agent, completely unnecessary. Criminal. It shows that you're not willing to respond to that client when other agents will certainly respond to that client. Like if you're trying to set up a showing or they want to list their house and they get an automated response back, they're going to just reach out to another agent.
Totally.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Zillow and anything else, right? If somebody, we live in a world right now with like instant gratification, right? It's like the TikTokification of the world. I'm noticing it when I'm texting with people now, as I'm single, whatever, right? Instant gratification. So when somebody sends you something, right, from Zillow or a showing, or hey, I want to sell my house. If you're sending that email or you're not answering for 9 hours, they're going to call the next agent, right? Oh, they're too busy for me, or they're on vacation. They're going to see your social media. So make sure that you have the right SOPs and expectations in place, so that way you can really get the most out of Summit, out of Bam Bash, and out of your vacation. Because like you said, Brad, sometimes you got to fill up your own cup before you fill up other people's cup first.
Definitely.
All right, let us know what you think of the out of office emails in the comments below. Eric, I think it's time for...
It is time for the marketer of the week. This is a surprise every week. Dan has no idea who this is. Brad has no idea. Shannon has no idea. But it's
if it's a rap video, I'm out.
It's not a rap video. It's not Jason Cassidy. Don't worry. This might be one of the best marketers in the real estate game. So Haley, if you could play one of these videos, we will dissect it and we will compliment it.
That's a big compliment.
Who's it going to be?
Oh,
hey! Look who it is. It's Shannon Gillette. Perfect. This thing blew up. This is posted end of July, and I thought this is one of the best hooks for a video that I've seen. And Shannon, we could walk through the video after we play it, but it's fantastic.
Recently, I had to tell a seller no who wanted me to list their home. A mistake I made early on in my career was taking on every single, but I've learned that the income you may make from a bad or unrealistic client is actually an illusion. They take so much of your time and energy, you're more likely to miss out on other opportunities from clients that will actually appreciate you and see your value.
So, fantastic hook. And then
even
also,
Ernie
loved it. Fantastic hook. And then also, so this is posted a month ago. This is what season are we in right now? It's Taylor Swift season, and you used a Taylor Swift song in the background, so you were trend jacking at the same time. So Shannon, walk us through this video, and it blew up. So why do you think it blew up?
Well, I think most agents, especially the new agents, would think, yes, take on every single client. You may be getting a $15,000 check from that client. But I have been in the business for over 17 years. I have had those clients that drain me, that I have PTSD from, that abuse me, that text me with no greetings. That is like, I can't, when someone's like, did they close on their home? Period. Like, be nice, say hi. They think we're robots and not humans. And it's not worth it, because if you have one of those crazy clients that's sucking the life out of you, you're not really, the money you make is an illusion, because you're missing out on other clients that will appreciate you. It took years to learn this, but once you see those red flags of the crazy clients, like, you can't just take on everyone. So how that video came about is I had a seller want me to list their home, and they were completely unrealistic, rude, treated me like a robot. And I'm like, I can say no. I don't need to take on every single listing.
Yeah. And I think you explained that perfectly in the video. And then in the caption, I think you list the red flags as well. So this was just a master class on content creation with the great hook, the trending Taylor Swift audio, the controversial, not controversial topic, but the unique angle on it. And then what's that? Is that a Taylor Swift band? Oh, nice.
I'm a Swiftie. You wouldn't know anything about it. Culture yourself.
I know everything about it. Anne was just at the Taylor Swift concert, right?
Shannon, to your point, so I had, for the first time in my probably 5-year career, I actually had to fire somebody, right? So like, I took the listing, I knew what they needed, and I kind of felt bad, and I allowed them to play on my heartstrings a little bit, because they were a little bit older and they needed a specific number because the husband was not in a good way. So against my better judgment, I took the listing at a certain price, thinking, listen, okay, if I put the seller communication guarantee, I do all the right things, inevitably they're going to lower the price. 2 to 3 weeks into it, I'm sitting at open houses with nobody there. And now I go to have that conversation, which rarely happens because we normally price correctly, but they could not go below that number. So at that point, I had to say, listen, you know what? I'm sorry, guys, but I can't keep this listing at this number. I think you're better served using somebody else. And I actually had to fire them, which I've never done in my life. But it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth, the mental effect that it has on you. Right. By working with people that aren't going to appreciate you and aren't right. That have the red flags right away.
Yeah. One awful client. Anybody? One awful client can feel like 10 clients. So it's just
horrible
for even and they're usually at a lower price point. It seems. It always seems like the deals that are for a smaller amount are obviously, understandably, a little bit more nitpicky with it. But we do have one more Marketer of the Week video. So let's tee this one up as well, and
just break Brad, right? Who cares about Brad?
Oh yeah, Brad, what'd you think of that? It was great, right?
It was perfect.
Yeah, I loved it. There we go. Oh,
hey, I'm firing clients.
There we go, Shannon. Back to back. Let's go. All right, I like the video. This video coming up because it's simple, it's quick, and it's taken a news story about Arizona. Quick little breakdown. Love it. All right, here we go.
Look, Ernie's coming up again.
Arizona is in the news again, this time for ranking number 3 in the U.S. for attracting wealth and high income earners. The top 3 went to Florida, Texas, and Arizona. Bottom 3, California, New York, and Illinois.
Simple, easy, quick. You don't have to go over the entire article. It's just, you're in Arizona. Arizona was in the news. Great breakdown of high wealth people coming to Arizona. So I just love how quick and easy that was. So great work.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I love that style of video. My problem is I try to say too much and I'm always trying to make that more concise. So I think that is beautiful that she hit the points that had to be hit.
Yeah, exactly. And calling out those other markets too, because it always pisses people off in those other markets. And it's just, anytime you can induce an emotion from people, in a BAM post, whenever we list markets like Illinois, Sacramento, whatever, they always share that post. So anytime you can list other locations, it usually does well.
I think I peeped Ohio as the bottom 4th, right? It was one more. It looked like a short, 4 letters there. So that
Shannon, how is the Phoenix market right now? Is it, I know during the pandemic, obviously it was popping off. Is it still in a similar position?
Yeah, so Phoenix was just named the #1 relocation destination. And the reason why I did that green screen video is I noticed a lot of people were just sharing the article like on their feed. Or so whenever you are wanting to share a Canva graphic or an article, think about just putting it up on green screen and putting your face on camera to talk about what it means. Same thing goes with market stats. Your clients don't know what average days on market means or all of that. Like you just put it in the background, talk a little bit about it, and just really stop sharing Canva graphics if possible.
Yeah, exactly. Great execution with that. If your location that you work is in the news, throw it up on green screen, break it down. Way more shareable and way more interesting to the consumers. What were you saying, Dan?
Real estate news. So my mom has been helping me watch Evil Ernie right here. And my mom is one of those people that loves to watch the news. So I never watch the news, my local news channel ever, right? But she's one of those that don't get on a plane, right? You're going to be careful walking around in Manhattan, right? Someone's going to come behind you. And so right. I never watch the news, but she's one of those people, right? So I come home and the news is on and I just hear like 7 like real estate things rattled off. Interest rates are at the 7.5%. What does that mean? And it's some guy who on the side of the road, like, 30 years ago, right? So all these different articles are coming out and people, if we don't educate them, they don't know. My mom thinks, the housing market's going to crash because the guy from The Big Short shorted the housing market again, but she has no idea the context behind it. He took all his money and put it in pharma and tech and all these different things. So we need to be the educators, right? And all of this news that's coming out each and every single day, it's on us. It's our responsibility. It's our job to make those posts, like Shannon said, about our local absorption rate, about what's going on. And for the people that don't watch anything but the news, these are who we're reaching out to, right?
Yeah, it's funny how that Big Short guy, did he tweet something? Because now everybody is talking about this. He tweeted that
guy tweets something all the time.
I know, but he's been doing this now for I think the last 3 years. And everyone takes what he says as 100% the truth because everyone's seen The Big Short and everyone just assumes he's going to be completely right. So anytime he shorts the stock market or the housing market or anything like it, everyone's like, it's guaranteed to happen. But
from my understanding, though, this is exactly what he did in 07 or 08, where he is really shorting. He put all of his chips in shorting the housing market. And then, but the context behind it, like I said, was he also put a lot of money into other things, which, for our opinion or for us to decipher, but he's not in the trenches every day like we are. Make that video.
Where's the inventory coming from, right? When it comes to everyday consumers, the housing market crashing is my home isn't worth as much, right? It means something different to him. It's not his home being worth less. So where's the inventory coming from that's going to make my home worth less? I don't see it.
And if you think about the 07-08 crash, it was really mainly because of fraudulent lending. So the only way, or the only reason that I think that maybe he is onto something here, and this is the last thing I will say because I feel like I've talked too much, is I've noticed in my market, and there will be a BAM article on this next week, in my market, lenders right now, everybody beware, because lenders they're not getting that refi business. They have made a ton of layoffs between their processors, between their, their intake people, all the different aspects to the loan process. And I've had deals die left and right because of fraudulent lending or because somebody's not actually approving them. They never actually ran their credit. So this is for everybody. This article will be out next week. Make sure you're vetting, if it's your listing side or your buyers, make sure you're vetting these people because there's a lot of people that are hurting right now. And because of that, they want to make quick money and then your deal's going to die. Last thing I'll say.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for attending the walkthrough. That was a fantastic episode. Everybody, go follow Shannon Gillette. Go follow Brad Acree. That's how you pronounce the last name, right? Acree?
It's Acree, but
it's Acree.
Okay. I've been called much worse. I almost told you before because everyone says it wrong, but it's just Acre, Acre with another E on it. It's a great real estate name, actually.
Brad Acree, of course. We should have asked that at the beginning of the episode. Yeah. We will see you at the TF Summit. We will see you at the BAM Bash. Shannon, thank you. Brad, thank you. Dan, thank you. Our next episode next week, make sure you tune in because it will be live from the Tom Ferry Summit. And we will get two incredible guests as always. So can't wait to see you guys.
Eric,
yes.
Eric, wait. That's going to be an in-house episode, correct? We're going to have the return of Darth Byron, I believe. Is that
I don't know. I hope so, but you never know with Darth Byron. He might be golfing with TF. He might be doing something. You never know. So we'll see.
You're right. All right. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. Bam Bash.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.